Hello and welcome. Thank you very much for joining us here on Times Now. I'm Hina Gabir, and viewers, our focus continues to be the latest update as far as the Middle East crisis is concerned, the impact of Operation Epic Fury that was launched by US and Israel on Iran, and that has now expanded way beyond these three countries. Viewers, the ongoing Middle East crisis is directly impacting the energy market across the world now. Brent crude is hovering around $83 per barrel. The prediction is soon it could touch $100 per barrel, 3 digits. And that's going to be a nightmare for oil importing countries, especially India. India is the third largest importer of crude in the world. Now, some important developments that have taken place over the last few hours that are impacting the oil prices, in fact, include a statement by the US Defense Secretary, who yesterday at a Pentagon briefing said that US war against Iran is just getting started. Now, with the crude prices, spiraling up, the government in India is also keeping a close eye on the developments and how the government is planning to deal with this situation. Well, on that, we have some inside information. Sources have told your channel that we are in a comfortable position. This is the view of the government as far as our crude stocks right now are concerned. Let me straight away go across to my colleague Pragya, joining us live right now for more on this. Pragya, at a time when crude oil prices continue to rise and there is no end in sight as far as disruption around Strait of Hormuz is concerned. So the uncertainty continues amidst all of this, government trying to allay concerns by suggesting that, we are quite comfortable with our crude stock. What have your sources shared with you?
Hina, first, the government is assuring everyone and has assured everyone that there is no dearth of crude oil and no dearth of petroleum products as well. In fact, the government is in touch with all the entities, including non-government entities like trading partners. And in fact, they have also spoken to IEA, organizations like OPEC, which is very important. In fact, there are back-channel talks with the counterparts held by, in fact, Indian ministries in various countries. We are in position to buy a lot of oil, and this is what has come from the government sources, that we are also replenishing our holdings. The first is that Strait of Hormuz, it has 40% of our, it fulfills our, in fact, our petroleum products is transported, crude oil is transported through Strait of Hormuz, which is 40%. But government says that we have 60% coming from someplace else. That also would mean that we are replenishing. We are talking to other countries and we are replenishing the holdings right now. And in fact, there is no dearth at all. Plus, as far as insurance cover is concerned, America has reached out to us. We are also in talks with the agencies to ensure this insurance cover for any ship that is coming from the US. So all these assurance, and government has also said very categorically that there is not going to be increase in prices. And in fact, today, Hina, the barrel stands at $84, which has not touched 100 yet. But even in the anticipation, government says that review is being done twice a day of the of energy resources and also the supply and also the global, the evolving situation which is happening around the world right now. Many countries more joining in.
Right. So we are I'm just interrupting you. There are more inputs coming in. We have inside scoop on India's response to oil shock fears. In fact, what we have learned from sources is, as Pragya was also telling us, that India has activated the global energy channels. India is in touch with global oil suppliers. Channels are open with the trading partners. New Delhi is engaged with major energy suppliers. Let me go back to my colleague Pragya, who continues to be with us at this point in time. So all possible options, Pragya, we can say, are on the table to ensure the impact of high crude oil is not passed on to the consumers like you and me and our viewers.
Absolutely, and government is saying even if domestic needs are to be met, reprioritizing, and recalibration of the energy needs can be looked into. But, as far as consumers and domestic product is concerned, we are not going to increase any prices. This is the assurance that has come from the government as of now. And in fact, they are saying that we have done that in the past. We had seen crisis, but this is also a crisis of another level. And, the government is ensuring that there is replenishment of the crude oil, replenishment of LNG, LPG, petroleum products, all of that. The government has taken stock of the situation, and also they buy as per the needs as well. So replenishments are coming. India is in a position to buy more oil. We are in talks to ensure that the insurance of the ships are also covered. America has reached out. We are also reaching out to the counterpart ministries, non-government entities also involved in it. And in fact, there is a lot of back channel talks that are going on right now.
Absolutely. So, all possible options are on the table. Pragya getting us the inside scoop as far as government strategy is concerned. Pragya, can we also expect an official comment from the government, from the oil minister in this regard? I remember a couple of days ago, there was a review meeting that was chaired by the oil minister, Mr. Hardeep Puri. Some pictures were put out. A press release was also issued. So, can we expect something like that maybe today or tomorrow?
Well, we can expect a press release coming out of Ministry of Petroleum, but they are doing review twice a day. They are engaged in their, in dialogue with the International Energy Organization, and not just that, regarding the counterparts also. The problem is with the timings. So, the press release may come, not before evening. But having said that, there is a review of a situation every minute, every day, and in fact, from the topmost of the country, Prime Minister has also taking cognizance of the situation, and in fact on the top of it as well. So, the sense of the government is that that whatever the situation might be, the impact may not be passed on to the consumer, is what the government is aspiring to do right now.
Pragya, I'm requesting you to please stay on with us. There are more updates as far as the story is concerned. Before we tell our viewers about it, let's also get in a word from our guests who are joining us live on the broadcast this evening. We have retired Major General A.K. Sivaj live with us. He's a defense expert. We also have with us retired Major General Dhruv Katoch, defense expert, Director, India Foundation. Thank you very much, both of you gentlemen. Appreciate you speaking with us here on Times Now today. Major General A.K. Sivaj, to you first. Firstly, how will you like to respond to the way India is looking at the global crude shock that the world is witnessing? What is your assessment of how India is looking at it?
First of all, one should know that Strait of Hormuz is very important. It's connecting Middle East to the rest of the world, in the sense that 20% of the world oil come through Strait of Hormuz, because majority of the oil is produced by these Gulf countries. But having said that, one should understand, as far as India is concerned, that we have alternative method. No denying the fact the Strait of Hormuz as on today is being blocked by Iran, and though the America is now saying that their Navy will escort it, but certainly the Navy cannot, make sure that in case if some drones hit any tanker. So majority of the tankers are not taking chance of crossing Strait of Hormuz. As far as India is concerned, we are not to be at all worried. Very correctly brought out by a reporter. The fact is that our 40%, almost 35 to 40% only come from Middle East. 60% and more comes from North America, Latin America, West Africa, and also from Russia. I must tell the viewers, initially we were buying almost 42% at one point of time from Russia, but then after a tremendous pressure which was put by US, otherwise our tariff would have not reduced from 50 to 18. We reduced it, but now there is a chance that we will increase that again, because that oil is still available to us. So as far as the government is giving three guarantee and assurance: one, that there will be no interruption of the oil. Oil will keep on coming. If we have a problem in Strait of Hormuz, we have many other entities from there, we'll get it. Second thing, in spite of the oil rates going high, remember that as on today, the 13 to 15% raise is already taken place in the oil. Now it is about $84 $4 per barrel, may go to $100 per barrel in another about 5 to 7 days. But the government is giving you assurance, in spite of that, domestic rates will not be affected. That's a very important. And third thing is, where, Hannah, I am worried is that our export also goes to these states. In fact, our perishable item like fruit, vegetable, rice, basmati rice goes, they also stand. I'm sure the government is finding an alternate market to that. But certainly the government is taking proactive action, and there will be no impact on the consumer.
With the kind of response we are seeing coming in from the government side, the kind of assurance that has come in, it's good to see that as of now, the price hike has not really been passed on to the consumers. So there's a reassurance that's come from the government sources. Stay on with us, sir. We have some more breaking inputs coming in at this point in time. What we have learned is that the United States of America has reached out to India. This is what the sources have told us. US to prioritize insurance cover as was promised by US President Donald Trump. Government is monitoring the situation daily. Sources are saying that the review meetings are happening twice a day. There's going to be no impact on consumers at all. Let me go back to my guests. We have Major General Dhruv Katoch also live with us on the broadcast. Major General Dhruv Katoch, now, these are two important aspects. One, of course, the assurance that has come from the government, and also second, what sources have told us, that US has also reached out to India and US is likely to prioritize insurance cover, a promise that was made by US President Donald Trump, along with another possibility that he spoke about, that if needed, US Navy is going to be escorting the oil tankers here at the Strait of Hormuz. Is it easier said than done? Do you think it's practically possible, what he had said?
Thank you, Hina. There are just a few points which I think need clarification. Iran, as of now, has not closed the Strait of Hormuz. The strait has been closed by the insurance companies who have jacked up the insurance, who refuse to insure it. They have not jacked it up, they refuse to insure it. The Iranians have not yet closed it. I've just a few minutes back, spoken with some of their people there, and very categorically the minister has stated that if they will inform the world when they close the Strait of Hormuz. They have not done it till now. That is one. So what President Trump is saying is he's really going to get into those, tell those insurance companies to keep the, to get back to your insurance so that the tankers can move in. At the moment, they have stopped the insurance. This is one.
Okay.
Number two, when President Trump says, that he is going to send the carriers to open the straits, to send ships to ensure that the strait is open, I don't think that can be done.
Okay.
Iran is so geographically placed that if they decide to close the straits, I'm afraid the straits will remain closed. That is going to remain a challenge for India. Now, regarding prices.
Before you move ahead, sir, I'm just interrupting you there. I will give you time to respond to how India is responding. But before that, sir, like you're saying that Iran has not really closed it. I have a point on that particular aspect, but also want our viewers to look at the visuals that we are getting right now. These visuals are important.